Okay, so for some of y'all that are just looking for the information of if the Seafoam process and all of that works, then I'll put together a shorter video for that, and I will put it separately. But if you want to hear all the details and stuff about the car and all that, then there's this video. But if y'all just want to get to the point and see what we need to do, I'll put all that together in a separate video. Well, hello again, everybody. Yeah, it's been a while. I had not put up a video for well, it's like I said, it's been a while. I've been busy. I've been working a lot and just doing this and that. Anyway, I had a video filmed of the update on the Buick with 4 big tires on it now. I got all 4. It looks pretty good. Big tires, and it doesn't drag anywhere now. So yeah, and I think it even rides better. But that's not what this video is about. We have a new vehicle up here, and as if we need another one. But let me show you what we got. Okay, so this is a 2012 Chevy Equinox. It's the front wheel drive version, and it has the 2.4 liter 4-cylinder in it. And some of y'all already are either clicking away in disappointment, or you know what I'm probably about to say next. This car burns oil. It burns quite a bit of oil. But I think we can fix that just from some stuff that I've actually learned on YouTube. Okay, so why do I have this? This is pretty much a lot newer style of vehicle than I would probably ever buy. 2012, it's got a lot of stuff to go wrong in it, basically, is what it is. And it has a lot of computer controlled stuff that even the cam position, the cam timing is adjusted on this by small actuators on top of the engine, which they're easy to get to. They do fail from time to time, but they're easy to get to. That's not what's wrong with this. It runs fine, but it goes through oil quite a bit. And there's a couple of reasons why these have problems with oil. I think there's actually a class action lawsuit or something like that against GM for these engines, but we're not involved in that because, well, actually the car was free, so I'm not going to complain about it burning some oil. I'm just going to try to fix it. Okay, so when I went over to get it, I popped the hood, and yes, I've already took some stuff off. It has a big old air box that sits here and one of those silly plastic covers that goes over the engine. But when I went over to get it, before I started it, which I'm glad I did, I reached down and I grabbed a hold of the dipstick, pulled it out, and looked at it, and it's good now, but when I pulled this out, the dipstick was completely dry. There was no oil at all on this dipstick. So I went and I figured, well, it's probably a quart or so low, because the dipstick only covers about a quart and maybe a little over that when it runs off of it. Okay, so I added a quart to it. Checked it, nothing. Added another quart to it. Nothing. Added another one. It was on the dipstick, but low. And I put another half a quart in, and that was right. So this engine was running on about, it holds 5 quarts, and this engine was running on about 1.5 quarts of oil. Because when you start this thing up and you pull the oil cap off, you talk about blow by. There is smoke and air just belching out of this. Now, you would think, okay, well, how many miles does that engine have? That must have a bunch of miles on it. It has 83,000 miles on it. That is what I call a low mileage vehicle. But yeah, there are a lot of these engines that didn't even make it to 50,000 miles before they pretty much locked up. Now the problem comes with the rings that they use, the piston rings that they use on this engine. They are the lower tension rings that put less pressure on the cylinders, and that is for fuel economy and power. It gives you just a touch more fuel economy and a touch more power. It's not even, to me, it wouldn't be nowhere near worth sacrificing that, but it gives you just a little bit more. It's a 4-cylinder engine in, well, what they call an SUV. I call it a wagon. This is not an SUV. I do like the car itself. I mean, I like the styling of it and stuff. And the person that had owned it passed away, and she was a very dear person to me. I actually did a tribute. It's not public on my channel. I can put a link in the description below, but I did a tribute to her. She was a missionary, and she did some great work for children and for people in general. She helped a lot of people. She was a great woman, and when she passed away, I got this vehicle. This was hers that she drove every day, and little did she know it was using oil. I mean, she was an older lady, and she didn't know, you know, I mean, who goes out nowadays in a vehicle this new and goes out every day and checks your oil? You know, I don't even do that in a Buick. But yeah, so I want to keep this car going just for that reason, just because of who owned it. Now, had it been, I was going to look for a car and this one was on the lot, would I have bought it? No, I would not have, especially after doing research on it. It's too new for my taste, but it is also the reputation that it has. Now, as far as the body and everything goes, it is in excellent shape. The body panels are all perfect. The paint is great. A couple very fine scratches, nothing major. The inside, although it's still a little bit dirty, it's not bad. It's in good shape. It's got the pretty nice seats. They're not the most comfortable, but they're pretty nice. It's not a bad vehicle, as far as, you know, how well it's been taken care of. If you've been following my channel for a while, the woman that owned this car was the same woman that owned Buster. If you remember Buster, the camper van. Buster, by the way, is still going. He's still running. My son drives Buster every day. He fires up every time. Good old van. Okay, so what I've seen people do is I've seen them pull all of the coil packs out and all of the spark plugs, and they put Seafoam in each of the cylinders, let it set overnight or for a couple of days, and work down into those rings to free them up and to allow the engine to make compression again and to stop burning oil. And I will probably try that later. For now, within about a couple of 100 miles, you're going to go through a quart of oil on this. That's pretty bad. So what we're going to do is we are going to take Seafoam and we're going to run it through the intake. I'll probably disconnect the brake booster line here so I can get a good vacuum, and I will dump the Seafoam down into that. And that way it actually gives it a good steam cleaning on the inside. It's not just sitting there cleaning. I think the agitation and the steam cleaning will help more than anything. And also, I've got another can of it I'm going to put into the crankcase, and I'm going to run it and let that also from the bottom end help to clean those deposits out. Another problem with these engines, if you notice, there is no PCV valve. The PCV is controlled by a little tiny hole, very small, right in here inside of the intake. It's a metered hole, so it's kind of like a metered air leak, and it clogs up. When that clogs up, you will end up getting blow-by because of the rings, of course. That blow-by will in turn, with the fuel cap, which I've took because I had so much blow-by, I was afraid it would happen, I took the oil seal off of the cap. I'm going to actually drill a hole in this cap too and put my own PCV valve. But for now, when it builds up pressure on the inside, what these engines do is they blow the rear main seal out. It will just push out, and all of the oil will spray out of the engine very quickly. Engine locks up or throws the timing chain, or the rockers will all collapse in here and come apart, and then the engine, which this is an interference engine, which means the pistons will hit the valves, and basically your engine's destroyed. So we don't want that to happen. So first off, one thing that I've seen that people will drill a hole right here, and they will take a piece of wire and stick through here into that little hole and clean the hole out really good. And that will make this work until I can get a PCV valve and all that rigged up. But I'm going to do that, and I'm also going to do the Seafoam. So let's see how this all works. Okay, so you can see I have some grease on the end of the drill bit. You don't need that much. But I just stuck it in the grease and pulled it out, and that's what's on it. So, but the purpose of the grease is so the plastic from the manifold will stick onto the grease and it won't go down into the manifold. So from what I've seen, I haven't had this manifold off or anything like that. I took this off. I don't think I even need to take that off. Right in here, right behind there is where the hole is, somewhere close to there. I'm going to take my time. I was going to take my time. Okay, that plastic is a lot thinner than I thought it would be. But the grease, as you can see, the grease did its job. Should be able to see that. Yeah. Okay. Now I'm going to clean all that up. Okay, so I put a plastic glove over the throttle body so I wouldn't drop anything else down in it. I already dropped something down in it. Make sure my piece of welding wire is straight-ish. And I'm going to feel around for the little hole that goes back in there. Okay, now I'm in it. And it was clogged. It was clogged up, definitely. So, okay, so you can see how far I ended up having to push. I pushed it in that far, and you can see on the end of it, there was stuff clogged in it. Okay, so that was clogged up. I'm not going to run it all the way down. I'm just going to run it to right in there. And probably later I'll take that off, put some thread tape around it, and put it back on. It'll be fine. Now we're going to hook this back up. Oh, wait. There is a cover. I don't know what the purpose of that is, but it was on there, so I'm going to put it back. This clip And make sure this is, yep, it's cleaned out. Doesn't taste good either. All right, let me get our parts and pieces and put back on, and we'll start it up. Let me start it up, and let's see how much blow by we got now. Okay, best way I can think to show blow by on video, because I can say y'all put your hand down here and feel this, and y'all ain't gonna be able to do that. But I can do this if I can get away from the fan blowing it. Look at that. Let me show you on a good engine. Okay, so this, of course, is the Buick. Little sneak peek of the tires. I think it looks pretty good. And this car has 160,000 miles, almost 170,000 miles on it. There's no blow by. Okay, that's what it should be doing. Okay, one more time to kind of reiterate the point. That's a lot of blow by. I notice the camera is not picking up. Yeah. Because of the frame rate, the camera is actually not picking up how much that paper is really moving. You can hear it. And as the engine gets warmer, it gets even worse. So let's try our Seafoam. Okay, so to Seafoam it, I needed a way to have a high idle. So what I did, I got this, well, you can see where I welded it, kind of. This is that bar I replaced on the Buick. It's perfect length, and you can see 1,000 RPM, and I can just slide it down on the gas pedal. A little bit more. Yeah. Okay, so there's about 2,500. So let's go Seafoam this thing. That is the brake booster vacuum line. I've got a socket shoved in it to plug it off. Kind of kept trying to run there for a second. Alright, so just a hair bit more, not much. I'm just going to dump that right into the, oh, it wasn't even worth dumping in. So now we'll give it about, I don't know, 15 minutes or so to heat soak. And also I'm going to take about another half of a bottle and dump it right in with the oil. Because we're going to do an oil change on this too. The other half I'm going to pour in the fuel tank. Now we're going to let that set and heat soak. Okay, so it's been close to about 15 minutes. And the engine has been soaking with Seafoam. So let's fire it up and just see what happens. Okay, at first it may be a little hard to start. Okay, scratch that. At first it'll probably fire right up. Huh. Okay. Ordinarily it's a little hard to do. Turn the air down a little bit. Now we're gonna put her up about 2,000 for just a minute or two. 2,500, I guess. And I'm not seeing any smoke. Usually you'd be belching out smoke. I thought it would be a smoke show, but anyway. Let me run her at like 2,000 RPM for a few minutes, and then we'll check our blow by again. Okay, so checking our blow by. Used to be a little better. Still there. Huh. It's still there, but it's better. Huh. The problem is, it's leaving the blow by going with the lid or the oil cap off. We're getting the oil all over the place, so I want to shut it down. We will try it out for a little while. We might drive it for a few days, change oil, see how it does. Okay, so I'll have to do an update. Once I drive it for a little while, I'll drive it for, I don't know, a couple hundred miles, something like that. Change the oil, because we've got a bunch of that Seafoam in there. I want to get rid of that. But I'll do an update and I'll let y'all know how it does. Y'all come back to see that video and hopefully it'll work. Anyway, I appreciate everybody watching, and I'll see y'all on the next one.